Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You have tuned into the Rebel News live stream on this, a Monday, February 9th, 2026. I'm David Menzies, and my co-host, well, she is the she-devil with a sword. She is the Khaleesi of Northern Alberta. She is the sensational Sheila Gunn Reid. Hey, Sheila, how you doing? And my first question to you is what's on the minds of millions and millions of people the world over, at least until the 24-hour news cycle moves on. What was worse last night? The Super Bowl as in the game or the halftime show by Bad Bunny?
I am excited to tell you that I watched none of it. I was busy working. I was busy last night in North Battleford at a Saskatchewan Prosperity Project event where they packed the house. They were over capacity. People were standing. So yeah, I avoided the plague that is the Super Bowl.
I am so envious of you, Sheila. The game, it's already in the top 10 worst Super Bowls of all time. I guess, unless you had some kind of fetish where you like to see football scores only achieved by field goals, then you were in heaven last night. And as for Bad Bunny, holy moly. I mean, first of all, I don't even understand rap when it's in English, but when it's in Spanish, that's a whole new level of misunderstanding. And I got to tell you, Sheila, Donald Trump rightly took to social media calling it one of the worst halftime shows of all time. But to bring it back to Alberta, your neck of the woods, what did our friend Jason Kenney tweet? Well, here we go on the wrong side of history yet again. Best Super Bowl halftime show ever. Celebrating the unbridled joy and energy of Latino culture, which is a big and beautiful part of American culture, 1,000 times better than that embarrassing show by The Weeknd a couple years ago. End quote. Who is controlling Jason Kenney right now, Sheila?
God. You know, I hope he never shuts up because every time he talks, a separatist is born. Like I'm just, and I know, like at the and I'll try to catch up on it because regular viewers of the show know that I really appreciate Kid Rock. I love sort of his trailer trash vibe. I always have, and I know that he had a counter. Concert, a Turning Point event. So I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on it, but I will definitely catch myself up. But I was busy last night, and then I was up early driving home this morning from Saskatchewan so that I could be in my chair right now.
Yeah, I would have preferred seeing the Kid Rock show, Sheila, but I felt duty bound to watch Bad Bunny. Much like a film critic, you go into a movie, you know right from the first 10 minutes, this is a bomb, but you have to watch it to the closing credits. And it was just atrocious. And I have a question for you, because I don't get this, and I ask this question of everyone in my circle. What is it with rap, including Spanish rap, apparently, where if it's a guy doing the rapping, he's got to be grabbing his crotch almost the entire performance? What is that?
Why are you asking me this stuff? Everybody knows that I like old man trucker music. If you're in tractor jail in the spring and the fall, you and I have the same musical taste. Like if it makes you sad, makes you feel sorry for yourself, old man hurting music, I love it. I don't understand the young people music. That's okay. Okay, I should tell everybody what we're doing. We need to keep the show tight today. I have stuff that I have to do right after. I'll talk about it tomorrow, but I was accidentally exposed to the Olympic opening ceremonies on Friday night. Anyways, watch the show tomorrow because I think you're misunderstanding what you saw there. Look at it through a Catholic lens. Italy's a Catholic country. I'll tell you what I saw. My Protestant brothers and sisters in Christ are seeing something different, but I'll give you my take tomorrow with Lise because we had a big discussion about this yesterday. Anyway, if you're watching the show on Rumble, thank you for watching a great free speech platform. You want to support the show, you can leave a Rumble rant. That's their paid chat over there. If it's over the $5 US cutoff, it's obligatory. We'll read it on air. If it's under that, we'll do our best to get to it, time permitting. If you're watching us on the censorship platform of YouTube, the same rules apply, but they also have an additional way for you to support us, and that's by way of super thanks. That's their paid comment. So if you miss the live version of the show, you feel moved by the spirit to support us, you can do that way also. So let's get into the news. I had to take my tripod down, so if I seem out of frame, I'm sorry. Maybe you're seeing too much of my studio, but anyway, let's get into. It's okay. Good.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I had to take it down, and then I should start putting markers on the floor, but that would be too much foresight for somebody like me. We've got Ontario's Inspector General of Policing confirming Monday that he is, thank goodness, conducting an independent inspection of police corruption in the province. This probably should have been something that was said last week as opposed to this week. Like, he should have been out there with the 5 bald police bureaucrats or 3 bald police bureaucrats. But anyway, let's hear what he has to say.
Why today I am announcing an independent, province-wide inspection into the ability of Ontario's police services and boards to prevent, detect, respond to, and fortify their organizations against corruption and ensure integrity. Although this issue originated with the Toronto Police Service, we have since learned that other organizations may be impacted.
Oh.
And in any event, incidents like these understandably shake public trust in policing more broadly. It's important to acknowledge the real questions the public is asking and the potential effect these questions may have on their confidence in Ontario's policing system. This province-wide inspection will be conducted under the authority of Ontario's Community Safety and Policing Act, the province's policing legislation, and it will focus on 5 defined areas, with the ability to examine additional ones as the inspection unfolds. These areas are first, supervision and span of control, including how officers are supervised and how effective that supervision is. Strong supervision reinforces professional conduct and performance expectations, and it ensures that legal obligations under the Charter, human rights legislation, and other law is understood, applied, and proactively upheld to prevent breaches before they occur. Second, screening and vetting of officers, both at recruitment and on an ongoing basis, as they move through their careers in an organization, to determine whether police personnel meet and continue to meet the high standards we expect, as well as the prescribed qualifications and suitability requirements.
Oh boy, Sheila, I'm loaded for bear on this. Do you want me to weigh in? And
you
then I'll
give
hear?
her.
Okay. Then. First of all, to Mr. Teschner's comments, supervision, screening, vetting, like this wasn't already being done since the beginning of policing itself. Secondly, this is precisely the wrong person to have investigating the Toronto Police Service. Why is that? Well, once upon a time, Ryan Teschner was the executive director of the Toronto Police Services Board.
Oh,
Secondly,
okay.
he is Chief Demku's personal friend. Oh yeah, I have a photo right here of him at Demku swearing in 2022, and he's clapping like a trained seal. So already, I think this investigation is compromised. I should say compromised further, Sheila, because where it really got polluted was when the police chief for York Regional Police, Jim McSween. Remember, Project South was a York Regional Police investigation to see how the Toronto Police Service had been infiltrated by organized crime. And what does McSween do? He calls Chief Demku of the Toronto Police Service. Why would you do that? Why would you compromise the investigation? Why would you put yourself in a conflict of interest? Why would you not think that maybe, I'm not saying this is the deal, but maybe the chief might be on the take too? I don't know. I'm not saying that, but you've got to investigate it. You know, Sheila, it's like, you know, the Crips are running a gang-banging house. and you investigate a couple of them, and then you call the leader of the Crips and you go, hey, guy, we're watching you. We've got a couple of your guys under surveillance. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, I guess this is good on paper. Oh, they're investigating. And interesting for him to say that this is going to expand beyond those police agencies. And then he notes, maybe we have a problem with standards. Yeah, everybody who's been railing against DEI policing has been saying this for years.
Great point.
Like, where did you think that was going to go? I don't know. How about exactly where we said it was going to go? Where you have unqualified people who are ultimately on the take. And then I think this could be easily solved by bringing in like an out-of-province outside police agency. Doug Ford pick up the phone, call Danielle Smith, tell her to send, some RCMP investigators from here that have not been contaminated by this, so that you can have at least the perception of an independent investigation, because we're still not there.
Yeah. And Sheila, what was unbelievable, I thought, was last Thursday morning in Aurora, Ontario, the headquarters for the York Regional Police Service, they had a joint press conference with YRP Chief McSween and the Toronto Police Service Chief Demkew. Why would McSween do that? If Demkew wanted to be part of that, I go, no. This is our investigation. We uncovered who's who in the zoo. You want to do a press conference, you do it in downtown Toronto. This is a York Regional Police Service event. And what was even more appalling, Sheila, is that it was all about self-congratulation. Yeah. Everybody shaking their hands. What a great job they're doing. Great job. Cops doing everything from dealing drugs to getting involved with conspiracy to commit murder. Not that we got into the press conference, because despite all this claptrap of accountability and transparency, Lincoln Jay and I were told by the Gestapo on duty in front that independent media was not allowed in. So we had to stay outside in the cold. Wow, really off on a good foot, eh, Sheila, if it's all about winning back public trust.
I can't even believe that he said that this could expand into other police agencies. Like, has this infected the OPP? I'm willing to bet it's affected the correction service, given that one of the targets of this gangland style attack, thrice in 36 hours attempts on a corrections officer's life, thanks to the gangs. I bet you there's a serious problem with the correction service in Ontario too, and I still don't know why they haven't called in an agency from outside the province. I don't get it.
Well, since Thursday, I can tell you 2 more Toronto police officers were suspended with pay. I'll never forget that, and we're going to give you a vacation. Stay at home, go to Florida. We're paying you. You don't have to bother checking in. And also, and I don't know the details, and I don't know if there's an actual bona fide connection. The investigation hopefully will give us this, but the Peel Regional Police Service, there was 3 members apparently under scrutiny. So I think this is the tip of the iceberg. Sheila, as I say in our business, this story has legs. This is going to go on a full year. Who knows? But I think this is just the beginning of what we know. And, it's chilling because the cops are supposed to be the good guys. Yeah. They're supposed to go after the bad guys. And then you see them acting with the bad guys like an enormous gang. And so far, I am not confident one iota that this is going to be transparent because of the incestuous connection between Tejner and Demkew. Sorry, that's what I have to say.
Do you even have an attorney general in Ontario? Like, where's that guy?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he should be issuing a statement at some point. Like, where is he?
Sheila, since this might involve several police forces in the province, where's Doug Ford? Why hasn't he done a presser on this?
Like, he's got a cabinet minister who, like, is the head of justice and policing. Like, where's that guy?
Yeah. This is shocking. And it's off to you know what? It's like I always say, This reminds me of a Yoko Ono concert. It starts out badly, then proceeds to get horrid. You know, hey, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That's what I'm saying. But right now, this is a sham.
Yep. Okay, let's see how much else we can get through on the schedule because we're already 20 minutes in. We've got 2 ad reads.
Okay.
And I got the cringe because like I said, I was inadvertently exposed to the Olympic opening ceremony. And I have some opinions.
So do I.
Yeah. Carney and Ford discussing the potential of an early election to secure a majority.
Yeah.
You're telling me a snake like Carney wouldn't try to secure a majority by calling an early election when the NDP still have their pants around their ankles? For sure he would. The Prime Minister has previously said he's not considering a snap election, and his office repeated that on Sunday. I don't believe him. Not
Wait a
one
minute.
bit.
Really, Sheila? If the Prime Minister said he's not considering one, isn't it a matter of that's that?
I don't believe him. I don't believe him for a second. And I honestly, as a Western chauvinist, I almost don't care.
Yeah.
Because if he secures a majority, more little separatists will be born. Because it shows that no matter how hard we vote blue, nothing ever changes. We are just a big blue block in the West, and it doesn't matter once things happen in Ottawa.
Sheila, speaking of the color spectrum, I thought Doug Ford was blue. Wouldn't it sort of make sense? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm being outrageous here. Maybe I'm, going off the reservation. Would it make sense to align himself with the Pierre Poilievre camp? Or is it a matter of the Poilievre people and the Ford people hate each other's guts? So that's what's driving this perverse relationship of Carney and Ford, like Batman and Robin.
Doug Ford's not even purple. It's crazy how liberal he is.
Yep.
And running under a conservative banner. I don't get it. There's a lot of animosity between the I was going to say Carney camp, but I guess that's actually accurate. The Ford camp and the Poilievre camp. We've all seen Jamil Javani call out Ford by name for sabotaging the Conservative campaign in favor of Mark Carney. Doug Ford is firmly in the elbows up camp, and I guess it helps him hang on to power in Ontario, but it sure doesn't win him any friends out west.
Yeah, and how's that elbows up coming along? I mean, it's been almost a year now since that phrase was coined, and I don't see any there. But Sheila, let me put you on the spot. If you're to predict what's going to happen in the next few months ahead, a spring election, I personally think that's where we're headed. Now, I might be wrong. God knows I was wrong last night for picking the Patriots in one of the worst Super Bowls ever. But all the indicators seem to be going that way. I think Ford even said something about it being important for Carney to have a strong mandate. He is the Prime Minister.
Well, but he's in a minority government, and I could see him doing that, saying, look, I need a strong mandate to deal with the Americans. Elbows up, elbows up. And I think the window is closing on Mark Carney to call that election. I think don't bet money on this, but just what I think, we're about 4 weeks out of an election call. I think if I had to guess, if I had to guess, we'll be voting end of April. And do you want to hear why I think? Because the Americans are headed towards the midterms, which means Trump will not be outwardly focused. He'll be focused on internal politics, less on foreign affairs. Mm-hmm. And so it'll be very hard when Trump's that way to position him as your opposition, as opposed to Poilievre being the opposition. So if he's going to do it, he's got to do it now.
So the question then is, do we see a repeat of what happened last year, Sheila, or God forbid, Carney gets his much coveted majority? What say you?
I think he's going to, and this is not an indictment of the Conservatives. This is an indictment of the electoral system in this country, that I think Carney will beg, steal, and borrow himself a majority. I do.
Right now, hearing you say that, Lady Menzoid is throwing yet another plate against the wall. I mean,
Lady Menzoid, there's always Alberta. There's always Alberta, Lady Menzoid.
not when you're born and bred in South Africa and it's even too frigid in southern Ontario.
Oh, yeah.
It's more like there's always Florida.
You know what I have to tell you? There are South Africans in my neighborhood. A couple weeks ago, I was out tooling around with Lise in her van, and I noticed one of my neighbors has a flock of ostriches. So they can thrive, they can survive, so can Lady Menzoid. Her fellow South Africans.
Actually, Sheila, of all the birds to pick in terms of thriving in Canada, I think
They're
you picked
doing okay.
the worst species.
They're doing okay. I couldn't believe it. I was like, first of all, when did they get ostriches? Second of all, it's -20. They're just trotting around outside, so she'll be fine. She'll be fine.
Third
The
of all,
freedom will
thank you
keep her
very much,
warm.
because now the CFIA knows about this.
Oh, I think they're just pet ostriches, but yeah. Let's keep going. Stéphane Dion. Anybody else? Anybody else surprised to find out he's still alive? I was. They've really dusted off the antiques for Project Fear, haven't they? So Stéphane Dion is railing against Alberta and Danielle Smith over separation. And then somebody asked him about Quebec, and he's like, "What do you? That's different. What's different? That's sophisticated and cultural." God, he looks like the gecko, doesn't he? Anyway.
Are you surprised to see this growing separatist movement in Alberta?
But for the reason I mentioned just before, Alberta is the place in the world where the regional government has the more power on natural resources and the more natural resources per capita. And then you come with these policies that we need to do in order to decrease our greenhouse gas emissions to save the planet burning, and Alberta forest burning, by the way. And this is a shock and a difficulty. I think this difficulty should be solved within Canada without putting the existence of our country on the table. It's a mistake to go towards separation. But of course, there is tensions about what is the proper eco-climatic policies that we should apply in the case of Alberta.
The Alberta separatist movement, I'm sure you've seen this, has been speaking to American officials in some capacity, even talking about getting access to money, a credit line from the U.S. What do you make of Americans being involved in that conversation, Stéphane Dion?
I think it's completely irresponsible to have done, because we know that President Trump is somebody very difficult to predict what he will do, but he has clearly expressed his view about annexation of territories in order to get the resource of these territories. We need to remember that in Canada is almost alone around the world where the control of natural resources is in the hands of the provinces, of the regional entities, and not the central government or the federal government.
But we
in
can't
the US,
move them.
natural resources are federal. That means that if you invite Trump to in Alberta, and maybe to take control of Alberta, that means that Albertans, 5 million people, will have to share the dividends of their natural resources with 240 million Americans.
What is equalization, Stéphane?
But completely bad for Albertans. And it should be said. Nobody's saying that, so I'm saying so. It's completely irresponsible to have done that from the point of view of Albertans and, of course, of all Canadians.
You know, of course, you're from Quebec, obviously, and in your home province, the Parti Québécois has seen a great amount of success in the polls. There'll be an election in the fall. They say if they're reelected, they will also hold a referendum. What do you make of that reality, that it could be happening in two places in the same time?
Or maybe three. There's a petition in Saskatchewan as well. I think it's foolish. If you see the other countries, they have the same disagreements. And it's tough to find solutions, a lot of difficulties, but these other countries, they don't put the existence of the country on the table each time they have a disagreement, only in Canada. And what Canada has done to be considered this way is one of the most admired country in the world. I was in Europe in the last 8 years. Everybody is in love with Canada. You have more than 1 billion
I'm
people
not.
on this planet dreaming
They don't
to
have to
become
live here.
Canadian. So why are we in Canada always talking about the possibility to split our country? It's a shame.
What advice would you give
good.
to the federal?
Sheila,
That's fine.
I need your guidance here. You see, I have a hard time understanding simpletons. Is Dion saying that Alberta, going back to his original remarks, needs to remain in the Dominion of Canada so that the federal government can put the dampers on your
Yes.
province developing its oil and gas
Right.
sector? Because what did he say? That we don't want the planet to burn, the country to burn.
Right.
Hey, that's his opening line. That's his position.
You know what? I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
I actually appreciate the honesty from these federalist goons when they say, Alberta, you have to stay so that we can make sure you don't develop your own resources. That's what he's saying. So we
Yeah.
can make sure you don't become wealthy. And by the way, you're responsible for the forest fires that started in Jasper under federal management, where they didn't clear the fuel load from the forest because it might have been too unsightly for the tourists. He also goes on to say that natural resources are the province's jurisdiction. Yes, they are, brother, but here's the problem. You guys won't let us export them and you won't let us develop them because you've put production caps on everything. So you won't stay in your lane. And then he says, what do you want to do? You want Trump to come in and be in control of you? No. We just want to have a good relationship with them. We want to say, we're making the oil, we're digging the coal. Would you like some, friends? Because now you don't have to go through the federal government anymore. That's all that we're doing. By the way, Quebec was talking to France the whole time. Every time they have a kerfuffle over in Quebec about they're going to leave, and they do their, as I said the other day on the show, their crazy ex-girlfriend thing where they're like, if you're going to leave me, I'm going to kill myself. Give me more money. They talk to France all the time about recognition of a free state of Quebec. Why can't we do the same? Why are we treated differently? This stuff is exactly why we want to leave. Trot out Stéphane Dion and his stupid dog Kyoto more.
I'm glad you
please.
brought that up, Sheila, because you're absolutely right. In the referendums in Quebec separation, 1980, 1995, there were delegations going from the Quebec government to France to talk about this. So how is it that he can possibly have an issue with Albertans going to the White House? Because Alberta, even though you're going to separate or might separate, you're still going to border the United States. That's going to be your biggest trading partner, right? So of course you'd have those discussions. What's his problem?
If Quebec is allowed to talk to its cultural patrilineage on the interest of independence, why aren't we? You know, we are culturally aligned with the Americans. We're strategically aligned with the Americans, economically aligned with the Americans. Why wouldn't we talk to them? Because we're Albertans and we're supposed to sit down, shut up, and take it. And that's the whole point of the separatist movement, is that we're not doing that anymore. We're not listening to the Stéphane Dions of the world. Can you imagine trotting out Stéphane Dion onto CBC to lecture Albertans about why we should shut up and stay? Hilarious, actually.
I don't know if we can find this clip before the end of the show, but my enduring memory of Stéphane Dion when he was running as Liberal leader, Sheila, was that infamous CTV clip where the reporter, I'm going by memory, he was asking him a hypothetical question, and it turned into a mind bender for him. I'm sure some of the audience of a certain age will know what I'm talking about. Maybe we can find that. Do you remember that, Sheila?
Yeah. Although I don't think it's difficult to puzzle Stéphane Dion. I don't think that's hard. We should hit an ad break because we've got an ad read on the other side, and then we'll see how much we can get to. But I most definitely want to talk about the Cowichan decision, the labor board complaints about having to go back to work. These federal workers think it's against their rights to go to work. And then what's the other one that we should talk about? Canceling of Paul Brandt. That's been a big deal in Alberta, and it really exposes the Alberta Teachers Association for the ghouls that they really are. So let's take an ad break. We'll come back on the other side.
You forgot your bathing suit. You really want to go for a dip. This is what we call a last resort. If your most recent electricity bill says the rate of last resort, then your rate is like the rental bathing suit. It will serve its purpose, but there are likely better options available.
Gun bans make great distractions.
Trudeau may be gone, but Carney has picked up his same
We
rhetoric.
will quickly, and I mean quickly, reinvigorate the buyback of
Hunters, collectors, competitors, and defenders of tradition are still being targeted, while criminals run wild under Liberal policy. But we are fighting back. Join us, Canada's National Firearms Association, in defense of freedom.
For years, Alberta's been told to sit down, shut up, and just pay the bill. Pay equalization, pay for federal failures, pay for policies dreamed up far away in Ottawa and then dumped on us here in the West. And every time Albertans ask a simple question, is this still working for us? They're told they're not allowed to ask it. Well, that ends now. This winter, Rebel News is hitting the road with the Alberta Independence Tour, a live, in-person series of events across Alberta focused on the province's future, its rights, and its place in, or better yet, out of Confederation. And we're not coming alone. I'm on the tour. I'm Alberta's bureau chief for Rebel News. I'm host of The Gunn Show, and I'm a best-selling author. I'm going to break down what Alberta can learn from Quebec's independence movement. Not the slogans, but their strategy, drawn from years of their own research. Also on the tour is Tamara Leach, one of the most recognizable figures to emerge from the Freedom Convoy. She's now a Rebel News reporter and a best-selling author in her own right. She covers government power, civil liberties, and political movements that the legacy media either ignores or deliberately distorts. Then you'll hear from the Western Standard's Corey Morgan. He's a senior columnist, a veteran commentator, and the author of the Sovereigntist Handbook. Corey will walk through the political and practical realities of Western independence, what's possible, what's legal, and what is pure fear-mongering.
Well, I just want to bring, I guess, my experience to it as we're seeing independence organization and support like we've never seen in Alberta history. And I made a lot of errors since starting that Alberta Independence Party 25 years ago and learned a lot of things. And I just want to share those and what I've learned, the positives and the negatives to avoid as this organization keeps going, because it's unprecedented times. So let's make new mistakes instead of the same old ones.
And I think I've got a pretty good understanding of the playbook and how this is going to go down going forward. I think just getting out there and spreading the message, you know, it's not going to be an easy road, but I feel like there's a lot of hope in Alberta. I've been going to some of these petition signings and just was down at a Saskatchewan Prosperity Project event last evening. And, you know, the energy is palpable. People are excited. I mean, they have some great questions, but what a great opportunity to get together with people and hear what their concerns are too.
These won't be sanitized panels. These are not media-approved conversations either. This will be straight talk, real debate, and honest discussions that the establishment just won't host. We'll talk about autonomy, sovereignty. We'll talk about what Alberta can do legally, democratically, and peacefully when the status quo keeps failing us. This isn't a spectator sport. You're going to be able to ask us questions. You'll be able to challenge our ideas. And importantly, you'll be part of the conversation, because Alberta's future should be decided by Albertans, not dictated by Ottawa insiders who will never pay the price for their decisions. The Independence Tour is coming to cities all across the province. Seats are limited, demand is high, and these conversations are long overdue. Go to independencetour.com, find your city, get your ticket. It's time for Alberta to stand up and be heard and fight for its future. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. We are coming to a city near you to talk about the future of Alberta, and I'm bringing my friends Corey Morgan and Tamara Leach with me. Go to independencetour.com to find your city and get your ticket today. Okay, great. Now that you're welcome back to seeing a different version of me in a different t-shirt. Let's share a message from our friends at Recharge. Do you know that most methylene blue being sold online is the same grade used in fish tanks? This frightens me. I use methylene blue, but I actually use it from the wellness company. So watch out for low quality bottles that are untested for heavy metals and made overseas. You can trust the wellness company's Recharge, a doctor formulated supplement combining powdered methylene blue and NAD plus and PPQ. This methylene blue is USP grade, ensuring top tier purity for maximum safety and effectiveness. This is not the sketchy stuff you find on Amazon. Recharge is formulated with research-backed ingredients to optimize brain function and cellular repair while supporting clean, lasting energy. Tap into cognitive and metabolic support that helps you stay energized, focused, and resilient all day long. Choose a trusted formula made for your body, not for fish tanks. Feel the difference with enhanced mental clarity, sustained energy, sharper focus, and protection against cognitive decline. And no, it won't turn your tongue blue. Head to twc.health/rebel. Use code REBEL to get 10% off plus free shipping. Again, that's twc.health/rebel and use code REBEL to get 10% off. Okay, let's continue
Sheila,
on with the show.
That's actually fascinating. How does methylene blue help you? What does it do for you?
I feel sharper. And I think I'm pretty sharp as it is. I don't eat carbohydrates, so my brain's running on ketones. But I'm not a great sleeper. And I feel that methylene, like I feel metabolically healthier, but also you just sort of feel like your brain is just that little bit sharper. It helps your, you, like in your uptake of oxygen to your brain. So if you've been exposed to carbon monoxide in the hospital, they give you methylene blue. Like that's the cure. So if you're putting a little bit of that in your water every day, you're cooking with gas.
Wow. You know what? I'm going to look into it. I think I might try it. It'll be another pharmaceutical in my arsenal that is the color blue. And I won't talk about the other one because it'd be too much information.
Poor Lady Menzoid. Honest to goodness. Just leave her private life out of this. The woman has suffered enough. Let's talk about these baby bureaucrats going back to work.
Baby bureaucrats.
They sure don't like it. Oh, I opened the wrong link. So, public servants have filed, I guess their union has, filed a labor complaint over new federal office mandate for public servants. So, they've been ordered, I think, back to the office. It's not even 5 days a week like normal people, okay? 4 days. So every weekend is a long weekend. Every weekend is a long weekend for these people. So Canada's largest public sector union has filed an unfair labor practice complaint after the federal government announced a new policy requiring public servants to be in the office for a minimum of 4 days a week starting this summer. Oh, they're mad because they don't get a long weekend every weekend all summer. As of May 4th, executives will be required to work on site 5 days per week. You know what? This is fine. The bosses have to be there the whole time. And other federal employees in the core public service will need to be in the office a minimum of 4 days per week as of July 6th. What is wrong with these people?
Well, Sheila, I'll tell you what's wrong, because I've been monitoring the chatter on talk radio, and some of the excuses, such as, well, during COVID, we sold our place in the city and we moved to cottage country.
Don't care.
Yeah, but and also we used to be a 2-car family and we sold 1 car. Here's the fatal flaw in this argument. You preface it with during COVID. Did you think COVID was never going to end? That was the new normal forever? You know, these are bogus excuses. So put up your cottage country property and move back into the city, buy another car.
Or get a new job. You're not an indentured servant. Get a different job then. If working in the public service does not comport with your lifestyle, then you either have to change your lifestyle or your job, like everybody else on the face of the earth. But these people think that they're special. somehow.
But-
And it shows just how they thought COVID was the best thing ever. It's why they never wanted it to end. It's why they didn't care if you lost your job, lost your business, your kids became mentally ill and depressed, that they couldn't play their sports, that they didn't have in-person learning. They didn't care because this was the best thing ever for them. They didn't have to go to work and they got to move to the cottage.
100%.
It's over. Go back
But
to work.
You know something, Sheila? As much as I hate to do this, I feel that our job here is to be like the umpire behind home plate, calling balls and strikes. I think this is a masterstroke by Carney. And I'll tell you why. He's on record as saying he wants to reduce the public service. And I bet you there is a percentage of those people that are going to go, screw that. Give me my package. I ain't never coming back. And okay, we'll chop that salary off the payroll. No problem. So in that way, it might be a master strategy.
I just can't believe these people. They're telling me to sell my car and take the bus to work. Well, I work. My commute is like 12 steps to the basement. But they're telling everybody else on the face of the earth to sell their car, take the bus, take public transportation. They sold their car. They're now a one-car family. Great.
Yeah.
Show me how it's done.
In the words of Stéphane Dion, we don't want the planet to burn, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the PSAC, these are climate radicals. Great. You get to live with your bad ideas. Congratulations. Let me know how it goes. I don't care.
And you know what, Sheila? I'll tell you this much. For the union to go to bat for these employees, this is the wrong hill to die on. You know, outside of the union, public sector unionized environment of people still working at home themselves, nobody, almost nobody, is going to support these workers. People are going to be of the mindset of you have a good job, it pays a good salary, you have a platinum level benefits package, get to work.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, these were the people who complained because they were working at home in their jammy jams with their laptops on their knees while they were watching Netflix out of the corner of their eyes, complaining about the Freedom Convoy when those people just wanted to go back to work. Like, those people just wanted to go to work. And many of the Freedom Convoyers are blue-collar people. Yeah. They wanted to go do hard work with their back and their hands outside, and they were being told to, again, sit down, shut up, and be quiet by the laptop class.
Great point, Sheila. And by the way, when you say they're jammy jams, if you're lucky, what was the name of that ex-federal Liberal MP that showed up twice naked to a Zoom call?
The first one was like the Zapruder video. And then the next one, it was like that Bigfoot video where he's just trundling around in the background with his wiener out. Like, good grief.
You know, Sheila, I dare say you and I haven't seen that much skin since last summer when we went to the Bear Oaks nudist colony together.
Was that last summer already? I think
or was it two summers ago? Am I losing track of time?
And I didn't see a lot of skin. I was doing a lot of looking upward. Thank God that guy was taller than me.
Oh, yeah, sure.
He had a beautiful mustache. That's all I know, because I was just like, his mustache was like a curling broom. It was so thick. Anyway, that's where my eyes were focused, because I was like, I can't believe I'm on assignment at a nudist colony with David Menzies. Where has my life gone off the rails? Anyway.
Well, I was talking to the gal, and unfortunately, I couldn't keep my head upwards. Hey, I'm a heterosexual male. What can I say? As uncool as that might be to state these days.
I'm as prudish as they come. I just remember when I was like, oh my God, David, they're walking towards the gate. I was panicking.
Yeah, you hid.
I was. Cause even the signage of all the naked, like, drawings of naked people as we walked up made me uncomfortable. Like, I just was retreating into myself. And then I couldn't believe these naked people were just strutting up to the gate to talk to us. I was so hoping this was one of those David Menzies capers that ends up in the police being called before we had to talk to anybody.
That's what we thought. That's why we parked our car down the road.
I was praying for that, David. I was saying a silent prayer as we were driving around in your vehicle thinking, please let this be the day that this happens for me. And it didn't.
But don't also forget, Sheila, how pleased you were when you were talking to that gentleman and you found from a political, socioeconomic standpoint, he was simpatico with you.
Yeah. You know what? I learned a lot that day. I went there, weirded out, but I went there with an open mind, however anxious that I was. And I was talking to this man, and he hates the municipal government too. And I was like, wait, do we hate all the same things? Like, he doesn't like dumb government rules. I don't like dumb government rules. It was just one of the strangest days I've ever had on the job in 11 years. And I've been to Iraq, right? like it was weird.
Oh my God. Oh, there's the video evidence, Sheila.
I filmed this. Anyway, beautiful mustache. Beautiful mustache.
That was a beautiful
McDonald-esque.
mustache.
Yes.
100%.
Let's get on to the news, please.
Yes.
Thanks for taking me on that sidetrack, a little detour in the day. That Cowichan decision that has basically thrown land titles for hundreds of people into chaos has spawned another court challenge from another band. So there's no way on God's green earth that I'm going to be able to pronounce this, but I'm going to give it a whirl. You don't know if you can, unless you try. But anyways, it is the Zawade Inux First Nation. Now they're seeking a court declaration that 650 hectares, I need that in acres, somebody translate that for me, around Kingcome Inlet are now Indian settlement lands. So they say these should never have been preempted by settlers. Don't call people that. More than a century ago. Most of the land's in the hands of two owners, a major lumber company and the nonprofit Nature Trust of British Columbia. Well, I'm for Nature Trust of British Columbia giving the land back. But the lumber company, what are they supposed to do?
Yeah. No, Sheila, my heart breaks for any homeowner in British Columbia because this virus it looks to me, it's just getting started. And for that matter, people who are real estate agents, because I'll tell you, with these wacko-jacko court rulings, unless they're successfully challenged at the Supreme Court level, and you're rolling the dice there, I think, you might not own what you've worked so hard, 25, 35, 40 years to pay off that mortgage.
For, yeah.
This is shocking. And it makes, of all of North America, I'm telling you this, Sheila, well, with the exception of Minnesota, maybe, British Columbia is a no-go zone for me in terms of going there, investing, buying a house. Not a chance. Not with this kind of rubbish happening.
A lot of Albertans buy vacation properties in BC, like around Golden, Revelstoke, and I can see this putting a chill on a lot of that because
100%.
As they say, most of it is unseeded. But I mean, if people are living there, I believe it's been seeded. Like,
yeah,
it's gone. Like you can't roll back the hands of time, and they really want to. And this is how one bad ruling is throwing the entire state of property rights into British Columbia into absolute chaos. Yeah. How do you finance something? How do you get insurance? How do you sell it? How do you inherit it? If all of a sudden that you don't own it.
I'm sure the banks are feeling the chill. Why would we give out a mortgage to something that's going to be taken away from under us? And by the way, Sheila, I want to say this, BC aside, all you other municipalities across Canada, in terms of your virtue signaling, doing that native land acknowledgement, you are going to be the author potentially of your own misfortune. You are saying on the record, we are sitting on the territory of blank. This is the most stupid thing imaginable.
Oh my goodness. And I love when this sort of stuff blows up in people's faces. Like, again, I didn't watch, was it the Grammys that were just on? Again, I like the pop music, so I don't pay attention to the Grammys. But Billie Eilish,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to say her name either, but she said something about how this is, like we're on stolen land. Then the local band is like, okay, we're here. Give us your house.
You know what I love, Sheila? I'm surprised we didn't think of this. A reporter from the UK flew over to California and paid a house call and said, hey, I'm here to hang out, and never got past the gated security.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they're all open borders, border walls are racist, but they have one around their house.
Yeah.
So anyways, she has yet to give her property back to the local Indigenous band. So
yeah, her line was no one is illegal on stolen land.
Right. So let them in, sister.
Yeah.
Oh, open the gates, Billy.
Oh, I didn't mean me.
No, they meant us. They always mean us. They never mean them.
Yeah.
What does Andrew Wilkow say? Socialism is for the people, never the socialist.
Oh, yeah. Socialism isn't for the socialists.
Yeah, it's for us. Let's do this story out of Alberta regarding Paul Brandt. So Paul Brandt, he is, for those of you who don't know, and again, if you're not into the old man feeling sorry for yourself music, and Paul Brandt really is that, but he is an Alberta country music singer, internationally acclaimed. I think he was actually a nurse before he became a country music sensation. He wrote the song Alberta Bound, which I think should be the new anthem of our new country. And he just posted the lyrics of the song the other day. And one of the lyrics of a song that was popular 20 years ago says, I've got independence in my veins. Which is us. Like, that's the ethos of Alberta. Strong and free is our provincial motto.
Yep.
And so, anyways, he posted that and everyone's like, he's a separatist. Anyway, so what if he is? I bet he is. But what if he is? Quebec's got a whole culture built around separatism. They got separatist authors and separatist actors and separatist musicians. And so what if we get one? Like, who cares? But he never said either way. He just posted the lyrics to his own hit song. And so they were mad about that. They tried to cancel him, but everybody who likes Paul Brandt and likes country music is largely pro-independence anyway. So he was supposed to speak at the Alberta Teachers Association. That's our teachers union convention. Why? Because Paul Brandt works with the provincial government on human trafficking. So they've removed him as the keynote speaker because he posted the lyrics to his own song that was popular 20 years ago because he might be some sort of crypto separatist. But he does incredible work on behalf of trafficked children. He's got an organization called Not in My City that helps the trafficked. And so he's got a lot to say, especially for these people who won't shut up about how much they care about your children, even more so than you care about them. That's if you listen to the ATA. They're all out there co-parenting with our kids and stuff. But they removed him because his lyrics, I guess, might be too radicalizing to the separatists, as if they've ever even heard that song before.
You know, Sheila, I've said for a couple of decades now, I have never met so many people who are so stupid than those who are part of teachers' unions. And to your point, independence in my veins, I'm going to make a prediction here. I bet you when this song was written decades ago, before Alberta sovereignty was even a thing, he didn't
It's
mean
always been a thing.
Political independence. You know, when I think of independence, you know what I took from that lyric? I think of the farmers. I think of the truckers.
That's what the song is about.
I don't go in and punch a clock. I'm my own boss. I'm farming my field. I'm driving my rig. That's my idea of independence. Oh, and by the way, and I'm not sucking on the government teat, okay? That's the independence I think he was speaking of.
Yeah. I mean, anyways, the whole song is about how great Alberta is. And it talks about, the soil and the Rocky Mountains and the kind of people. It's a great song. Yeah. Again, as a Western chauvinist, You listen to that song and you feel good about where you're from. And these stupid ATA losers are like, that's a little bit, you were supposed to feel bad about where we're from. And we're supposed to treat ourselves as though we're sort of settler colonialists or whatever. But though Michelle Rempel Garner makes an excellent point. The Alberta Teachers Association speakers list, they had a convicted murderer.
What?
Yeah. So they had a convicted murderer speak, and that was fine, but they canceled an upstanding award-winning country music singer who uses his platform to prevent human trafficking. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
Sheila, you have to tell me more about this. How does a convicted murderer get tied in with the ATA?
Can we bring up the full article from Juno? I think it was from Juno.
Global News calls the murderer a controversial guest speaker.
Controversial.
Oh,
Yeah,
what was the controversy? He wore white after Labor Day? No, he's a murderer. But anyway.
He's a murderer. Yeah. Andy Evans was a guest speaker at the Calgary City Teachers Convention. And what did Andy Evans do? Let's Google. Murderer.
Jeez.
God, my search history. Lise, if you're watching, delete my search history.
No.
In 2019, killer's message of hope at a teachers convention sparks criticism. Andy Evans, convicted of second-degree murder, will share his addiction story with Alberta educators. So he's a former drug counselor who was convicted of second-degree murder for strangling a woman in British Columbia and hiding her body. Why is this guy out? He should be under the jail.
Where are the feminists?
Yeah, where he's since been released. I guess so. He's on a speaking tour making money, and is now scheduled to speak at the Teachers Convention in Calgary in 2019.
This is gross.
Okay, in 2007, he killed Nicole Parisian in Vancouver. He confessed to becoming angry after being unable to get an erection and beat Parisian before strangling her and hiding her body in the bushes, according to the Supreme Court judgment. He killed a 33-year-old woman after relapsing 3 months prior. Then he appealed the conviction, but it was upheld. So how long did he spend in jail? Maybe 10 years, if that. And he's out on making money on a speaking tour. This is who they had speaking, but they won't have Paul Brandt, who's not done it. The man is a saint. I don't think he's done anything wrong in his entire life. I think he was a pediatric nurse before he became a very wholesome Christian country music singer who advocates for the trafficked.
How is that person still not in? Well, I guess I know that's the way we roll in Canada, but second-degree murder, and he's out and now celebrated on a speaking. I mean, the only more egregious thing I can come up with in your neck of the woods is little Omar Khadr getting that $10.5 million payday for hurt feelings. This is so gross, Sheila.
Yeah, it's hideous. And the ATA is a horrible, horrible organization. Hey, we have an ad read here from our friends at Rumble Wallet, too, before we wrap the show. I've just got a tiny, tiny cringe. I don't have a lot of time. If we can bring up my X post after I do this ad read on the Olympic uniforms. Because those are wild. Anyways, this is from Rumble Wallet. They can cancel your accounts, freeze your cards, decide what you're allowed to buy, sell, say, or support. Big banks and financial institutions have total control, and they use it. That's why financial independence matters now more than ever. Introducing Rumble Wallet, a wallet built for real freedom. With Rumble Wallet, you control your money, not a bank, not a government, not a tech company. Buy digital assets like Tether, Tether Gold, and Bitcoin in one secure place. No permission, no middleman, no cancel button. And when you want to support the creators you actually believe in, I believe that should be us, you can use the Rumble Wallet app to directly tip content creators securely, instantly, and without interference. This isn't a credit line they can shut off. It's your wallet permanently. Yours to protect your future. Yours to protect your family when the system fails, when institutions turn on their people, financial sovereignty is the difference between security and vulnerability. Rumble Wallet isn't about politics, it's about freedom, ownership, and protecting what's yours. So take control today. Download Rumble Wallet now and step away from the big banks for good. True ownership, true protection, true financial freedom. All right. Olivia, do we have any chats today? Okay, perfect.
Oh, a shutout.
That's okay. We'll make it up tomorrow. They're always more generous with the ladies on Tuesday, David.
Oh, well. Chivalry's not dead, I suppose. Well, folks, thank you so much.
No, wait, before we go,
the cringe video. Sorry.
It's not even a video. It's just a photo. Can we please show the Olympic outfits? Look at those. They look, like I said, they look like an old Tim Hortons cup had a baby with a pissed-in Goodwill sleeping bag. Like, what is that?
Well, we certainly don't have Hudson's Bay to blame anymore, but is Roots back in the game? Who's
Lululemon.
These?
Lululemon did this.
Oh.
After they got rid of their, or maybe he stepped down, their conservative-ish CEO, Chip something or other, the guy who kept putting up those anti-NDP signs at the end of his driveway during the election, you can tell he's not there anymore because that is embarrassing. What is that?
And correct me if I'm wrong, Sheila, Lululemon, they're the ones that are all about clingy yoga pants, right?
No, they're the yoga pants people. So you would think you'd be getting something with the yoga pants people, but instead you get homeless. Like you look homeless.
You know what? Yeah, it's like you've got a portable tent that you walk around and you just...
Yes,
and you're right.
That's the state of Canada. Tim Hortons unemploying all your young people, so then they have to live in a tent. They have to walk around in a tent.
Those are bad. I mean,
terrible.
Listen, fashion like beauty, I guess it's in the eye of the beholder.
Look,
but those, to me, like, how does this get past the concept drawing, Sheila? How does a team at Lululemon go, yep, the sleeping bag that looks like a Tim Hortons cup, that's our look for 2026?
Look, I'm not someone to give anybody fashion advice. Many of my clothes are like the one-stop shop of, I'm running into the farm supply store. What's new on the Carhartt rack? So, I'm not your girl for fashion advice, but I know what's ugly, and that is it, for sure.
Sheila, you're never ugly to me. But if you wore one of those, just might...
Look at these Tim Hortons cups.
I know.
Looks like the ditch in the spring. Just all Tim Hortons cups laying there.
Here comes Team Double. Unbelievable.
Dick.
Well, Sheila, that really is cringeworthy. Maybe with
so
the
embarrassing.
blowback.
The world saw that, David. It's so bad.
Okay, so we've got almost 2 weeks. Can they find something different to wear in the closing ceremonies?
I think this is it.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, Sheila, thank you so much for joining me today. Folks, thank you for tuning in. You can see more of Sheila Gunn Reid and the lovely Lise Merle tomorrow, Tuesday, on the Rebel News live stream. I'll be back on Friday. In the meantime, as always, stay safe and stay sane.
You like the hat? Me too. Same strong message about making Canada great again, but in a really cool color, black and gold. There's other colors available, and it's an all-Canadian site. So if you want to signal your tribe or trigger a Liberal, go to mcgahats.ca.